I am happy to be here tonight at your annual celebration and to see so many old friends. To many of you I am indebted for a loyalty I must have often sorely tried, for counsel which I have not always taken, and for gallantry in hopeless combat more than once. And it is an honor to be invited to speak at your commencement of a great American who embodied the whole meaning of political leadership. Last night I saw the opening of the Broadway play about Franklin Roosevelt. It is not about politics, it is a play about the triumph of one man and one family over disaster. It moved me deeply, not alone because of the human drama it portrays, but also because of the image of leadership in many crises it brought to mind: his paralysis and personal crisis, the lonely courage, the proud decision, then the crises of depression and war, and the courage and skill with which he lifted our nation to great decisive deeds. We need such qualities to conquer the crisis of today. Ours is not simply a crisis of ballistic missiles, and it cannot be repaired just by weapons. It has been long in the making. It stretches across the whole front of our national policies and back to the roots of our national life. Its final location, I believe, is in our minds and hearts. To meet it, we will need a radical alteration in our national policy. On the domestic side, there is not even an illusory promise of more strength. Instead of expansion and enrichment of the aims and capacities of our way of life, the program is to roll back, cut down, contract, all along the line, from school construction to cancer research. At a time when a rapidly growing population is multiplying the needs. As Walter Lippmann puts it, the basic conception of the program is that this nation, challenged as never before in history, is to reduce and contract its national responsibility for the internal development and welfare of the nation. But what I wanted to talk about is not our well-being, nor our military stature. As to the latter, you cannot build strength through joy. There is little doubt that our military deficiencies at least will get a lot of sympathetic attention from Congress. For we must jealously guard our military strength, lest our adversary get too far ahead and puts his advantage to use. But when use by either side means retaliation and destruction of both, then clearly nuclear war becomes less likely, and we must look for other instruments of national policy in our quest for security. The Soviets have already done so in the drive to their goal of universal domination. They have found another mighty weapon in education and scientific achievement. We have been repeatedly warned about their progress by Senator William Benton and others. But in the complacency of our assumed technological lead, we have confused our high standards of living and material prosperity with intellectual stature. It is an extravagant and a dangerous mistake, but there are encouraging signs that at least we may be going to do something about our education, and certainly the current amnesty for intellectual and eggheads must be very agreeable to many of you. The communists have moved quickly in another direction too. The political, economic, and psychological penetration of the backward economics are weak governments, unstable, and the people yearn for material improvement. I am confident that the Russian-Chinese bid by aid, trade, and propaganda for influence and allegiance in these areas is far more dangerous than Soviet missiles or manpower. For these areas, with their vast populations and resources, are decisive in the world struggle. We need them, and they need us. We must keep up a steady dialogue with these men. We must break the arms deadlock. Of course, we can expect no quick miracles. Moralizing, cursing communism, proclaiming containment will be no substitute for day-to-day actions which demonstrate that our interest in these regions transcends military support and loyal votes in the United Nations. For if these nations can make the transition from stagnation to growth by the methods of consent, it will give democracy and peace new impulses which may safeguard free society for generations. It is both harmful and inaccurate to present our interest in these areas as economic warfare. We defeat ourselves and deface our best instincts by disavowing all generous motives where foreign investment is concerned.